going on, you all? This is Monet. I want to talk to you all about overcoming insecurities and just being one with yourself and accepting yourself. So, as a child, I would always be insecure about some of the features I had. And when I say features, when I was smaller, of course, I was a little bit heavier. And then not only was I heavier, I had dark circles. So, being that, kids are horrible, I always made fun of people, luckily I wasn't really bullied about my dark circles or being overweight because every school I went to, whether it was elementary, whether it was middle school, or whether it was high school, it was always a small school. So everybody knew everybody. And pretty much the high school I went to was pretty much what all the kids that I went to middle school with, so they already knew me, which did make it easier to kind of transition grade to grade. But as a child, when you start noticing that you have differences than other kids, you kind of wonder, to yourself, why don't I look like them? Or, hey, why was I born with this? Why was, it just always was a million and one questions that I had, in my head. And I know everyone is not perfect by any means necessary. I don't believe that I'm 100% perfect. And I didn't get into makeup because of my dark circles. I honestly got into makeup because I always was fascinated with how you can always create a new character. When I say that, you can make yourself look like makeup can transform you into so many different things. Makeup has a way of kind of telling a story for you without you saying anything. Even like with my makeup today is pretty, neutral and calm. So it kind of gives you the vibe that I was feeling today. Like I said, it, tells a story for you. So that's why I pretty much got into doing makeup. I've been wearing makeup for as long as I can remember. I started wearing makeup fresh out of middle school. I had just started ninth grade and I started off small. Like I started off just doing eyeshadow. Oh my God. When I think about how I used to do my makeup when I was little, y'all would be like, girl, what is wrong with you? Compared to today, you would be like, okay, Monet, you came a long way, which I did. I honestly did. Like, my makeup was just like all over the place. I used to wear crazy looking eyeshadows. I didn't wear blusher, foundation. I didn't get into wearing foundation until my sophomore year, but at this time I pretty much was just putting on the eyeshadow, and then I would always have my hair curled because as a child I always had good hair. Like my hair was always long, so my hair was always done and straight and sleek. So I used to always just do the little quick little eyeshadow and used to have my, my natural hair curled. And I used to think I was the stuff. I used to go to school and the girls were like, oh, girl, where you get that eyeshadow? Baby, Walgreens was my friend. Like, when I tell y'all drugstore makeup, that was what I was into because I really wasn't into always asking my mama or somebody to, give me money to buy this, give me money to buy that. So whenever I did come into money, like birthday money or something, I would always buy makeup. And as a child, my main thing was buying eyeshadow and lip gloss. That was my idea of makeup when I was in school. It took for me to get to my sophomore year. Me and my best friend was into doing makeup. And it was so crazy because, like, my friend was better at doing different eyeshadows. Like she was really, really good at blending eyeshadows and getting them to look really, really good and cute and pretty. And I was better at doing eyebrows. So it was so weird. So I had to help her do her eyebrows and she would help me do my eyeshadow. So that's one of the ways I learned. And another way, of course, was, me watching YouTube. YouTube teaches me everything. YouTube teaches me how to use YouTube. So, it wasn't that hard to pretty much catch on new techniques. But it took for me to get to my sophomore year for me to like really start stepping into using foundation. And I'll never forget, I used to use Black Radiance foundation from the drugstore. I'm telling y'all, I stayed at Walgreens. I started using this foundation, and the foundation wasn't bad at all. But you know, back then, I didn't know anything about setting your face. So I used to have on foundation, and then throughout the day, because my skin gets really, really, really oily. So throughout the day, the foundation make me look oilier. And some people be like, "Oh my God, are you hot?" And I just be like, "Oh, like, oh my God." But it took for me to start watching YouTube videos to be like, "Oh my God, why have I not been doing it? Like, what have I been doing?" Literally, like when I started watching YouTube, I pretty much knew how to do my eyebrows. YouTube pretty much was a good way of me knowing different products to use when it came to doing my eyebrows. Because back when I was younger, I only used like, the typical brow pencils. I wasn't really up to date about the brow pomades or the, Anastasia Beverly Hills brow wiz. Oh my God. When I got to using the Anastasia brow wiz, y'all could not tell me nothing. Tell me nothing. It was over with. And then as far as foundation, a lot of the other YouTubers that I watch, I would always look at what foundation they use, in the description box or when they explain it in their videos. And it took for me to watch one YouTuber in particular, and she referred a foundation that I use to this day. To this day, my go-to makeup. To this day. And, once she said that, it was over with. My only issue was, starting to do makeup, it's pretty hard to kind of match what fits you as far as concealer. So it took me a little minute to get to that, but I got the hang of it though. I did. No, but back to my insecurities though, like as a child, I was I wasn't a quiet child. Like I had a lot of friends. So, I don't want you to think that, oh, because I was insecure, I wasn't talking to nobody. No, it wasn't anything like that. What I was insecure about was it was to the point like, when you're bigger than other kids that you're around, you get insecure about what you wear. So when I got to high school, I would be so self-conscious about what I wore, especially when it came to dances like homecoming and prom. And I promise y'all, like I would be dressed so cute, so pretty, and to be scared to like show what I had on because I was just so insecure. And then of course, your family will tell you, "Oh, you look so pretty, oh, you look so cute," and then always in the back of your mind, you kind of think to yourself like, or they just saying this because they my family, or you always had that thought like, you my family, of course you gonna uplift me, which is what family does. But as a child, it's kind of hard to kind of overcome insecurities when you felt some type of way about certain issues with your body for so long. When I got to high school, that's really when I kind of took charge of my life. And my high school experience was the best experience of my life. And the reason I say that is because, I was always told, if it's something about yourself you don't like, fix it. And that's what I did. Like, I was not pleased with my weight. So what I did was try to find activities that caught my interest. So starting my sophomore year, I started doing more sports. I started playing tennis. I started playing soccer. And I, found myself with soccer. Literally, you all. I started playing soccer for 3 years straight. In those 3 years, I think I lost literally 50 pounds. And it got so, like, it got to the point people was like, dang, like, you lost a lot of weight. Like, I was literally going to practice one day, and it was one girl that, I've been knowing her for years. And she said, girl, you lost so much weight. And of course, you don't see it because, I look at myself in the mirror every day. So, of course, I'm not going to see a change in myself, a change that other people see. So, of course, when you trying to change something about yourself and you looking at yourself every day, you ain't going to see it or really kind of notice the changes until it's drastic, So, it took for a drastic change in my weight for me to be like, okay, like, yeah, okay. So, once that happened and I started kind of working on my weight, it got to me working on my confidence with my makeup. And that's when I got to watching YouTube. And honestly, YouTube honestly helped me in so many different ways. So honestly, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know half of the things I know today, not just with makeup, just helpful ways on kind of like trying to get healthier. Other people coming over insecurities. It just is so helpful. And it's a good platform for you to kind of see other people go through what you go through. Because as a child, it's very hard to kind of overcome insecurities. When I was younger, nobody really threw, the insecurities I had in my face. Like, I didn't have an issue where somebody was like, hi, you're fat, or hi, you got dark circles. Like, I didn't have that problem. I more so had the problem of me not liking flaws that I felt like I had. But, as I got older, it's just like, look, this me, take me as I am. If not, then, oh well. So, I'm way more comfortable with myself and how I am and how I look, and I came a long way. A long way. Like, and then, when you insecure, a lot of times you won't tell people that you're insecure. Of course, that's common sense. You don't want nobody to look at you as being weak because, a lot of people feel like if I tell people I'm insecure about this, they gonna look at me different. So of course you ain't gonna tell nobody. My best friend didn't even know that I was going through these insecurities because I didn't want her to, as a child, you want to be like, I don't want her looking at me different. I don't want that person thinking I'm, weird. So I just kept stuff to myself. The only time I really expressed myself and how I felt, like when I was younger, I did a lot of writing. Like when I was in school, every time it was a writing competition, I would always win because, like, I used to write about real life stuff. Like my freshman year, I had this literature class, and we was learning about different forms of writing as far as poetry. So the teacher would always give us assignments on writing poetry, but it'll be certain type of poetries, and mine would be deep and so real, and it'll kind of let you all know like the insecurities I have and what I've overcome. And and the one thing I did respect about that class is, as much as my teacher always assigned us to talk about stuff and write about stuff, she would never have us read it in front of the whole class. What she would do is have us write it, and we would, turn it into her, and she of course will read it and, put notes on it, and then I have a private discussion with you. So I did always respect that because I was like, okay, you get a little discouraged on really kind of opening up because you don't want nobody to, really know you or feel vulnerable. Because, when you completely open up, it's a certain level of vulnerability that you have, when telling people stuff about you, stuff that people, may have not noticed before, and you don't want people just looking at you differently. So that class did help me. And, it took for me to talk to my literature teacher, for her to tell me, you're fine. You're beautiful. Don't think no different. And that really stuck with me. It stuck with me for the rest of my life. It honestly did. To the like, I will never forget that. And then another thing is like, not even my mama noticed, but that same teacher, because she knew that I was kind of going through, trying to overcome my insecurities. At my school, they were having a pageant, and she honestly was the reason I signed up for the pageant. She convinced me to do it, and I did good in it. Like, I was just happy that my family came, my mom and my sister, my cousin. So I was just so happy about that. But if it wasn't for her, I would not have had the strength to even try to be in a pageant because I was just so insecure. And then, like, with the pageant, it allowed me to kind of get closer to, to more people. And to this day, I'm still friends with a lot of the girls that I did the pageant with to this day. But I do want to kind of give you advice as far as trying to overcome your insecurities. It's not something you do in one day. It's not. It takes time. But at the same time, even though it takes time, it's always quicker to overcome when you have someone helping you. So never go through your insecurities alone. That's one thing I will have to say, because once my teacher did kind of, realize the insecurities that I was having or trying to overcome, she helped me out a lot. If it wasn't for her, I honestly feel like I honestly would not have made it to where I am today, in a place where I feel like I love myself. I love me. But love yourself. That's all I can say. Thank you, Alana. No, I mean, thank you, Elena, because Alana meant. Yeah, now you want to say cheese. Oh, look at Lele. Devil Ranch